Smoking gun evidence that climate scientists are cooking the books. And
we begin with news just into CNN. It's now official. This summer is the hottest on record globally by a huge margin.
2023 is said to be the warmest year on record.
2023 was the hottest year on record by a long shot.
2023 left the records tumbling like dominoes, confirming it was the hottest year ever recorded.
Hottest year on record, huh? Well, how long have we been keeping global temperature records? I asked my staff. They said we've only been keeping stats on the global temperature for 140 years. So is this really the hottest year on record? Because how accurate were the global temperature records in 1880 when we started keeping them? You're telling me we had thermometers all over Asia, Africa, and Alaska in 1880, and they were accurate? Yeah. So I asked my staff, who's measuring the global temperature? It's the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, NOAA. And where are they putting the thermometers? We found out NOAA is putting the thermometers in the cities. Where in the cities? On concrete and asphalt. You ever been to the city in the summer? You ever walk around in your bare feet on a city sidewalk in August? It's hot. That's where we're putting the thermometers to measure the world's temperature, on little heat islands. Concrete and asphalt attract heat and retain heat a lot more than the countryside. It can be 10 degrees hotter in the city than in the country on the same day. We found out the government's been placing thermometers to measure global warming on airport runways. Yeah. Others were found in parking lots, on rooftops, and on concrete sidewalks. Oh, and we also found them on exhaust fans of AC units. No wonder we think the Earth's warming. We're literally cooking the books. Meteorologist and Lieutenant Colonel John Shuchuk says this. Documents clearly show that 96% of U.S. temperature reporting stations are improperly located, where many produce unrealistic warming through the urban heat island effect. The solution's simple. Either move the cities or move the thermometers. I think we're going to have to move the thermometers. But if we do, the gazillion-dollar green energy industry goes bankrupt. We can't have that since global warming is a big business. In order to sell you a solution, there needs to be a problem. And it turns out the scientists created the problem. I wonder who paid the scientists who created the problem. Could it be the government? Could it be the green energy industry? Yes and yes. Host of Tomi Lahren is fearless on Outkick. Tomi Lahren. Tomi, do they know that it gets hot in the city in the summer, hotter than it does in the forests or the countryside?
Well, I'll tell you, I've been in the city in the summer, especially New York City, and it actually smells like very warm urine. So interesting that they're putting the thermometers there. But I'll also say this, Jesse, you know, I was a goody two-shoes, so I never did this. But I'm sure a lot of kids remember putting the thermometer under the hot water so that their parents think they were running a fever so that they wouldn't have to go to school. Well, you'll be comforted to know that this is exactly what the scientists and the government agencies that are funding these scientists were doing to, as you said, cook the books so they could make us think that we were heading towards an impending climate apocalypse so that they could get more money to fund their little projects. So again, we have all been lied to by Big Green and the science that we're not supposed to question. And sadly, this doesn't surprise me at all.
Tomi, I did the same thing, except I didn't run it underwater. I just leaned over and put the thermometer up to my reading lamp light bulb. My mom comes in, 104, you little sweet thing. Why don't you just rest today? Worked like a charm. And the scientists just got caught doing that for global warming. Do you think they're ever going to maybe move the thermometers out of the cities?
Well, you just gave them an idea, Jesse, because now they're going to put them under their reading lamps to make us think that the temperature is in fact rising. So they're going to move them from the airport tarmac to a reading lamp. So now you've just given them more ammunition and probably more funding, more grant dollars coming their way. If they can make it look like things really were heating up in 2024, who knows how much more money and subsidies we'll give them to conduct their very important research.
All right. And if Tomi calls out sick from Outkick, you better check that thermometer. I don't know. I'd be careful. We know your tricks now.
Now I know where to put it.
Exactly. Thanks, Tommy.